Hi, welcome back to another Insider, and we continue this month of June talking about pricing in all aspects of pricing, setting up our prices, how to set up our prices, what type of pricing or pricing, should I say, do we have available, all these aspects. This week we will be talking about having a price list or pricing your projects per project. Um, these are two methods used by translators. A lot of translators use per project, but other translators may use price lists. I'm one of them for sure. So we will be talking about this today, so stick around for another Insider. So let's talk pricing and how we present the pricing to our clients. Um, I feel a little divided on this because since the very beginning of my career, I always decided that I had a price list published on my website. But recently, and through several events that I've attended, PD and other sorts of events, I came across with a lot of colleagues that actually price per project. Um, both, as I said in the intro of this video, both methods are legit and both methods are perfectly fine. What I believe is it depends on your market and it depends or on what you want to do with your business. For example, for me, since the very beginning, I've always set up a price list on my website and I provide a price list. Well, I like the no thrills approach to business. I think it works well with my market. As you know, I work from English to Portuguese. It does work well with the Portuguese community. The fact that they have a price list to look at and they have a control, sort of speak, of what they expecting from me. I have no issues in having the price list. I quote my projects according to that price list, and so far so good. My clients have been happy with the method that I use. I think it shows transparency, even though I'm by no means implying that my other colleagues that use per project are not transparent, because they obviously, when they quote, they specify what they are quoting as well. It shows transparency. It shows that you are happy to show your clients what you are about and what you're going to charge, etc., etc. And then, of course, it just it just works with my market. That's what I said. It just works with my market. I think when you work with the Portuguese community, definitely they would like to see a price list. They would like to have some control of things and see what actually they're going to pay, having a calculation and then realizing that exactly what they calculated through what they've seen on my website is exactly what's going to be on their quote. So I think that's important. For me, it is very important. When you quote per project, you might quote slightly different. And this is good, for example, if you offer a bundle of services and that makes all sense that you quote per project. For example, imagine that you are offering a bundle like a website, for example. This is just one example. And you also do the web designing for that website. You do the typesetting, like you basically get all the website done. You do the copywriting of the content, you do the translation of that content, you create the website, and then you insert all the content in that website, etc., etc. So if you do all of these, it's appropriate that you will be quoting per project, and you will have, because usually all these things would be quoted per hour and at a different rate because it's a different type of job when you just inserting data into a system, because that's what it is when you insert the content in a website. Obviously it will be charged at a different rate than if you are for example doing the copy, so the copyright, doing the copy of that content, and then again at a different rate of if you are translating that copy to another language. So and then it makes sense that you quote that project. This is what it's gonna cost in the end, because this is for that, that's for that. You know, you have all the specifics of that particular project, and then you quote that project accordingly, and that makes sense. It's obviously a good way of doing things, and a way that obviously clients appreciate, because they can see yeah, it is a bundle, it is a set of services that have been provided, and therefore they have to be specified in the invoice, and they are charged differently. However, even with my price list, I can do the same thing. For example, if I do not offer, for example, website or so web designing services or anything like that, but for example, if I am going to do a project for a client of copywriting and then translating that copy into Portuguese, and then something like that, uh, obviously I have to also put all those services specified in my invoice. The problem is, or the difference, should I say, not a problem, but a difference is that all these services, the client will see in my website how much I will be charging for all these services, because it's already there. So copywriting is charged per hour in my particular case. Then the translation would be quoted per word, and things like that. So you know, it will be it's a different type of approach. For example, I think, and in the particular case of this example that I gave you, the translation, for example, in my case, quoted per word would be a little bit less appropriate. It should be per hour as well. However, I have thought things through, and I think if all other clients are going to be quoted like that, then I should quote it this as well. So I think the secret is to realize the best way that works within your market, because whatever you're going to do, you have to think about the market that you're working with and your possible clients, and if it works for them or not. For example, if you quote per project, it's much easier to increase your pricing, because you quote per project. You're not quoting. It's not like a type of a metric kind of thing. It's, for example, 2 kilos is 2 kilos, 3 kilos is 3 kilos. Per project is a bit more susceptible of having a different pricing. So it's easier to increase pricing, and the client won't have that control, or won't notice much that you have increased your pricing. Some markets will accept this and will work well. Other markets will be a little bit sensitive to this type of rule. So I think the secret here is knowing your market and knowing what works well with your market, and then make your own decisions. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. For example, for me, having the price list on my website has been something that I always felt very strongly about, and I always had there. But obviously, every translator will work differently and will have their own way of doing things, and this is why today I decided to talk about this and explain how the two dynamics, how the two ways of quoting your projects work, so you can see um, the reason behind each one of them, and obviously make your own decisions. At the end of the day, it's your decision. It's what you think works for your business. It's what you think works for your clients, but mainly for your clients. You must understand that whatever you do, if you have either a price list or you quote per project or whatever you decide to do, it has to be something that it is widely acceptable by your clients, by your market. Otherwise, if they perceive your practice as less proper or less professional or whatever, it will be damaging for your business and it will be damaging for you. So most importantly of all, you always have to know your market, and you always have to know what works well for your market, and where you can go and what you can do. And I think if you know your market well, you can go wrong. And that's all for today. I hope you like today's insider. I hope you really had an insight of what the two types of pricing are about, and what you can do with one and what you can do with the other. And mainly, I hope you really understood that all of this is more based on what your market and your clients will be happy with rather than what you will be happy with, because at the end of the day, it's your clients that you have to please, and it's your clients that have to be happy with whatever you do, not not just a self-serving practice, because that won't work. It's more of a client-based approach. You always have to be client-oriented. You need to know what your client needs and what is good for your clients and what it's acceptable by your clients, so you will ensure that you will have success within among your clients, and obviously you'll get lots of them. That's what we all want after all. So, but if you have any questions, or if you have any experiences to share, maybe you are in the industry and you quote per project in a so-called price sensitive community, and it works, just share with us, why not? Or if you have started with a type of pricing and then you realized it wasn't working for you and you had to change it altogether, share with us as well. It's always good to know different perspectives on things and different ways of doing things, because obviously that's how we all grow. And if we have access to other opinions, other experiences, other input in things, I think it is very important. Once again, I said this last time, and once again, I'm gonna refer you to, and I'll leave the link below, to Moira Money's course on pricing. As I said, I've learned a lot about pricing with Moira. She is amazing. She's the host of the summit, the financial summit, the Financial Success for Translators Summit, and that was held this month as well. And she is an expert on in translation, copywriting, and she's an expert on pricing. She has spoke about this issue several times in the summit, and I think it's a very, very good course. So if you really want to know everything about pricing, I would recommend you to sign up with Moira for this course. That is absolutely amazing. And of course, if you have any questions for me, leave a comment below and I'll be very happy to answer you. And put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a notification, or a click on the bell, that is, so you get a notification. That's the correct way of saying it. so you get a notification of a new insider every week. Before I go, I wish you all a very good week. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.